Levi, where's the picture? Shneur, how are you?
Baruch Hashem. Another day.
Anybody on the line? Only Shneur and me.
Everybody's on the line. Hey.
Avon Fishman, how are you?
Baruch Hashem, מה נשמע רב שמואל? מה נשמע? מה העניינים?
Baruch Hashem, I have a question.
What's
Maybe you
that?
could help me. Beis HaChaim is a place where you don't play music. How come by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, they play music, and not only they play music, they play the biggest music. What kind of Beis HaChaim that you see that people come and play music?
זה לא בית החיים, זה לא בית החיים.
So what's going on over there?
רב שמעון זה נשכם בית החיים, זה משהו אחר לגמרי. זה מקום ששם זה החיים האמיתיים. שם זה כיף. זה נעמדו מייסה.
How do you explain it? Hello, Benjamin.
נו, אברום, נו, תגיד נו, בר יחוי.
הרב יסביר, תשאל את זה לרב, הוא יסביר לך טוב.
כמו שקודם בספורים.
Rab Shimon Bar Yochai is the only one we can make shevach to. We don't do no shevach to anybody except Rab Shimon.
You know what? The one thing we have to have in mind. He went 13 years in quarantine. We can last another 3 months.
Oh yeah.
No, he went only 12 years.
12 years.
Another 12 months.
Another
Yeah,
12
12
months.
years.
So you said we only do 2 months so far?
Yeah.
We have a long way to go.
This can fall, no?
But you call this quarantine? He was really in quarantine.
I'm willing to eat charuvim and water. Believe me, my stomach is so big.
Your stomach is big, but your cleaning store is small.
Mr. Fishman, I think we're in competition.
I start wearing a mask in my house because I'm all the time eating.
Rabbi Bomer, I'm in competition. How many
You gotta
pounds?
wear that mask to cover the mask you're wearing right now.
I can't hear you, Rabbi Fishman. I can't hear you.
Mr. Greenwald gotta wear a mask to cover the mask he just took off.
Rabbi Fishman, you are mute. Unmute yourself, then you can talk.
שמוליק מסכים לאכול חרובים במים, אני לא.
Angelini, make a what is it called? A magic for us.
The magic?
A Zoom magic.
My pen.
Yes.
Watch it. Hocus pocus out of focus. It start bending. Not too much, it's just a little bit. I miss you, Mr. Greenwald.
I miss you too.
I saw you this afternoon. You were in your store with a mask on.
I open 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Yep, I saw you wearing a mask, talking on the phone.
And a robe, like a doctor.
Like a doctor.
Yeah, I have a robe, I have a mask, and I have a gloves.
Well, you're a better doctor because you find the cure. The doctor sometimes makes us more sick.
The problem is the doctor they coming to me have clothes that they wear in the hospital, and I'm scared to get Chas v'Shalom this virus, so I have to protect myself.
Oh,
No easy.
I stayed home. I stayed home so long. I got blood clots now in both lungs. I gotta go to the hospital on
the rabbi
Saturday.
is a shocked Ashrecho. They're doing it outside, Rabbi.
What's the question now?
No, the rabbi is online now, and my question is, we don't see him. It's in the dark, so we can hear you, Rabbi. You are still on mute.
Yeah, Rabbi, you're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Okay,
Right now.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, l'chaim, l'chaim.
Chaim Lirocho. Not that the rabbi mute
Chaim
everybody.
Lirocho.
Everybody to put himself on mute. Only the rabbi should be on.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagofen.
Amen.
Amen, Rabbi Marsov.
Amen.
L'chaim, Elisha. We're waiting for some magic tonight.
I love you,
If we'll
Rabbi
make
Marsov.
if we'll take enough l'chaim, then we'll have the magic in Mitzvah Hashem. If we have Sheva
We need
Sachim, we'll for
miracles.
sure have the magic.
We need more than magic.
What happened? Did disconnect the light in the rabbi's house?
Huh?
We don't see you. Did they disconnect the light in the house?
No. I went out to the cave in Pekin. L'chaim. In
L'chaim, Rabbi Marsov.
And up in the Golil, there is a little village called Pekin. And it's a Druze village. And some say that this is the place of the Ma'adas Pekin. The Gemara says in Shabbos that Shimon ben Yochai went to hide in a cave. The Gemara doesn't say where the cave was. But in the Medrash, in several Medrashim, in the Medrash Rabbah, and brought in Kehelis, and also in the Psikta that Kahana had brought, it was Ma'arta de Bekia, Ma'arta de Pekin, that it was in Pekin. So till today, Pekin is the main thing of Pekin, is that's the place of Reb Shimon ben Yochai. There's a cave there that throughout the generations that it's believed that was the cave of Reb Shimon ben Yochai. There was a Jewish community living there. There's an old shul there that was built several hundred years ago with rocks that were there on the time of a Beis HaKnesses from the time of the Tanoim. There are several rocks that have images carved into them, like the Shar Niknor and the menorah, which actually is one of the things, because the menorah there is with round branches. But as we know, that there were many menorahs in the Beis HaMikdash, so the menorah, it doesn't have to be only the menorah that was in the Heichel. Any be it as it may, there's an Arab village, and it's interesting that today is left one old Jewish lady sits there on the front of her house, and you go to Pekin, the center of the whole town is based around the Reb Shimon ben Yochai. A fascinating thing is that where do you have a tzaddik that the songs were written for him? You have the Baal Kesem Poz, Reb Shimon, who wrote Versteht sich Adenene Bar Yochai. And then you have, for example, Bar Yochai from Amartem Koilachoi from the Ben Ish Chai. So tonight, please join together as we huddle into the Ma'orah in Pekin. We will huddle together, even though L'chayda was sitting in different places. But tonight, Dafka, more than ever before, we will huddle together into the little Ma'orah in Pekin. Please travel together with me as we go to the north of Eretz Yisrael, and we go into the Ma'arad de Pekin. We know that the Maral Miprag writes in the Chidush Agodas, in Maseches Sanhedrin, he writes that there are certain places in the world that are most mesugul for Torah and Tefillah. And he says, L'daiti, one of the most mesugaldike places for Tefillah is in the Ma'orah in Pekin. If you can just travel to Israel and go to the Ma'orah de Pekin, because that's the place where Reb Shimon ben Yochai sat for 13 years and learned Torah with Eliyahu Hanavi, and he had Gilui of a Kedushasai Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu Atzmai. These are the words of the Maral. So, my dear friends, please let's join together as we travel now to Pekin. Today, everything is virtual, so might as well. Let's go together to Ma'orah in Pekin, and let's huddle together, just like the Oira Chaim HaKadosh did when he went up to Eretz Yisrael, and he went together with his entire yeshiva, and he said for 2 months in the summer, he learned, and he parked himself in the Ma'orah of Reb Shimon ben Yochai in Pekin. So we're not going back. It's not like saying, how do you know a cave from 2,000 years ago? I mean, there is this is Pekin, and the Maral thought that this was the Ma'orah, and the Oira Chaim definitely thought that this was the Ma'orah. So let's climb into the Ma'orah, and if we need a lantern, let's take it with us, and let's sit down and learn a little bit of the Sisrei Torah of Reb Shimon ben Yochai, And definitely this will be the right ketoides to dispel whichever my gefa might be, ruchnis or gashmis.
You got a lantern right behind you.
Yeah, because I'm taking you guys into the Ma'ora in Pekin. So that's what we got to do. Outside the Ma'ora in Pekin, there is a carob tree. So there is actually several trees, and there's something unique about it that the villagers say, the Jews say, that the story with the carob tree is like every tree, that you have there is a season for the fruit. And here, the fruits come all year round, all year round. Chazal say there was a miracle and it grew the tree for a carob tree. The interesting is that there is a medrash that says that there was not only, it says that it was, hava'achli charuvim v'te'enim. They ate charuvim and te'enim. So some of Farshim say, what do you mean charuvim te'enim? Charuvim, boxer. And that's why the minig, there's a minig by Klal Yisrael on Lag Ba'omer to eat boxer. If you can't get boxer in the store, you should be able to get, so you can get maybe some carob sauce. But the best if you can get the actual boxer. If you can't get boxer, second best is te'enim. Why te'enim? Because there is a medrash talpias that answers that, that tree miraculously, it was a miracle tree. Obviously, it was a miracle tree. It was a miracle tree because usually it takes years for a carob tree to give its fruit. And some say it takes 70 years, and some say for a te'ena it takes 70 years. So how did it grow right away? But that was a miracle. So the same thing, that there was a miracle that 6 days a week it gave carob, and Erev Shabbos it gave them te'enim.
What are te'enim, Rabbi?
Dates. So they got something special and sweet treat for Shabbos. Figs, figs. So they got figs for Shabbos. Now, there is also a Eina de Maya. I mean, there's Arab homes that built like all one on top of the other, but there is like under the houses, there is still a Eina de Maya, a source of fresh water that's flowing there. So, as I said, l'chaim, let's all together, let's climb into Ma'ora of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai in Pekin. The Doira Chaim says it's a great place to learn Torah. The Maral Miprag says it's a great place to daven. So let's huddle in there and make l'chaim and Fabrengen b'sheves achim gam yachad. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Amen.
So in honor of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, why don't we learn a little bit a Maimah Chasidus? Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was told that that through learning this Kapnimis HaTorah, Yid will go out of Golus. There is remarkable Lashonis there's a remarkable saying from the Moshe Cordoveru, who came before the Arizal, and he wrote the Pardes Remonim and many other Svarim and Kabbalah. He writes something remarkable and sharp. Actually, it's in your sources. If you have your sources, the last 2 pages. Unbelievable. He says a Yid that doesn't learn the Chochmas HaKabbalah is an apikoidus. He thinks he's a from Yid, the daven dreimal atog, he puts on tefillin and he has kosher and mezuzahs, but that's what the Parda says. That a Moshe Cordoveru says, "Kol mi she'eina loimel chochma zu apikoidus." How could this be? You know, there was once a chassid that he met a friend. They were together in yeshiva. Now he went and he traveled to the Alter Rebbe and he started learning chassidus. His friend said, "What do you? I know you're a brilliant guy. What did you lose over there by the Alter Rebbe?" He said, "Oh, I'll tell you what. I can read people's minds. I know what you're thinking." He said, "Really? Tell me what I'm thinking about right now." He said, "Right now you're thinking about God." He said, haven't thought about this for 10 years. He said, "That's exactly the point. That's why you should be learning Chassidus." So the Alter Rebbe asks over here, he says, "What do you mean? How could you say such a thing?" So the Alter Rebbe says, "Kavanosoi shebekal yuchel lias apikoides kiteva odom lachker koldova besichle dafka." A person searches things to understand the answer in the seichel. ובפרט בדוירס הללו כידוע לכל שמאוד מאוד הושפע לחייס אמונה. ולכן מי שחויקה כל דבר בשכלי הטבע המגושם קורב ומאוד חס ושלום לאפיקוירס. He's going to start searching for God and answers, and he will try to rationalize everything, and boom, all of a sudden he fell into apikoursis. כי באמס על פי חפקידס הפלסופים לא יתוכם בשום אופן אלא הפרוטים שהוא יסוד התורה והמצווה חרבי עוינו שביס משיח צדקנו היינו להסק שעצמוס המייצל יסבורך הוא פושט בתכלס הפשיטוס המובדל לגמרי מכל מציאס פרוטי ומוגבל חץ ושול ואם כל זה נסהבה ממנו ברורים נגבולים ואם כל זה אף שנסהבה ממנו הבלי גבול מכל מקום לא יהיה שום שיני בזה מבחינס עצמוס ואם כל זה השגחוסי הוא ממש על כל דבר כמיימר הזה לאדם נויקף חולו אי אפשר להסק בשום אופן בשכל אנושי without the Kabbalah without Chochem and Historia Chochem as a person can never comprehend how is it possible that God is Kodesh Lo Shanisi and at the same time he's present at every place and he controls everything and the unbelievable Ashgacha Pratis. And the Alter Rebbe says that's no wonder that a feeble human mind should not understand, which is Mugbal, should understand the Almighty. But through Chachmas or Emes, the Eibishter reveals himself to a Yid. One of the stories that are told by the Bosha Zelik Margolis, he said it was Tafresh Tzadik Tes, he was at in Miron, and as we know in Miron, people come to ask for brachas for children, and for brachas, for all kinds of brachas. People ask for brachas for children, then if they have a child, they name them Shimon, then when the baby is 3 years old, from all over Eretz Yisrael, they come to do the upshare. And they said there was a woman that came with her son, and she came to Miron, and she sat him down on the bench, she's getting ready, and Nebuch, the kid, all of a sudden the kid got sick, it was fever, and she was there all day, and the kid passed away. So at night of Bomer, she brought him into the Ma'ora of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and she closed the door, and she started to cry. She said, Reb Shimon, that's it, I'm leaving my boy with you. I came here to thank you for this unbelievable miracle and to do the upsharnish for my son, to dedicate him to do mitzvahs, and this is what happens. And when she left the room, she slammed the door behind her, and she cried and said Tehillim, and all of a sudden she heard the baby cry. And everyone was astounded, and everyone made the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, v'chaya mesim. We know that the Alter Rebbe said that the Gemara tells us in Avodah Zarah that Antoninus told Rebbe, Zutre de bechu v'chaya mesim. I know the smallest one of your students could make the dead alive. The Alter Rebbe explained that from the Talmidei Habal Shem Tov, Zutre de bechu, even someone that didn't learn all the way till the sky. Take, it's a mitzvah, Rama v'nisah, to know Seder Ishtalshlus, to know the Eibishter. And through this, a Yid has unbelievable fire and avodas Hashem. But even if a Yid is Zuter B'chu, he didn't learn the whole Seder Ishtalshlus, and he doesn't have it all clear, but a little bit he learned. He was toying from the Eitz HaChaim, literally from the Eitz HaChaim, from the Torah Sasoid, from Reb Chaim Vital, who wrote the Torah of his Rebbe, which this year is 400 years of his Yortzeit, the Chof Tes Nissen. He was talking from a little bit of the Eitz HaChaim. He Zutre de Bechu, from the smallest ones. Zutre de Bechu Mechayim Eisem, could make the dead live. What does it mean to make the dead live? The Alter Rebbe said there's nothing more cold and dead than the Seichel. Nothing more cold than the Seichel, cold and calculated and rational. So when a Yid learns Pnimius HaTorah, Chochmas HaNistora, so then he could make Techias HaMesim. The cold, calculated Seichel is all of a sudden on fire. Zuter de Bechu B'chayim Mesim. So a Yid that even is Zuter, he's small, he didn't learn yet a lot of the Chochmas HaNistora, he already has the Koyach in his life to be Mechayim Mesim. We know Yidden had said that Miron is the Rosh Toivus Melech Roifei Neman Verachaman. There was a fascinating story in the Kfar Chabad magazine. There was a Yidden Bnei Barak. He said that he wrote a letter to the Rebbe after many years not having children. This was in 1989. And he asked for a bracha for a child. Short time later, he came to the mosquitoes and he got an answer. The Rebbe wrote one line: "Kipsak din Rabbi Seinu Nisienu Kedayu Rabbi Shimon Lismach Alav B'Shas Adchak." The Gemara says in the beginning of Shabbos, "L'chaim, l'chaim." Kedayu Rabbi Shimon Lismach Alav B'Shas Adchak. Then then the Chassidus says when a Yid is in Doichik Agolus, when a Yid is Nebuch with his back to the wall, and it's rough and Golus, who should you rely on? Rely on Reb Shimon, on the Torah of Reb Shimon. Rely on Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon will pull you through. There's a lot of nisyonis in the time of Ikvus of the Mashiach, and the Shas Adchak. Kedayu Reb Shimon Lismach Alav B'Shas Adchak. He's exactly next year, he had a baby. So Lag Bomer was the bris. So it was before Lag Bomer. He's getting ready for the bris. He was thinking, wow, I mean, I'm sitting on gold. I'm not telling everyone. I live here in Bnei Brak. There's so many from Yidden that Nebuch. He put out he paid for a thing in the Modia magazine, the front page, saying that anyone that wants could call him up. He had a fax machine. He had a fax machine, and that in his house, anyone that wants could call him, and he's going to fax the letters to the Reb Shimon Bar Yochai of our generation. He's going to fax it, and it'll be read also on the Tzion HaKodesh. He said from his neighborhood alone, in Bnei Brak, there was 21 couples that called. There's one couple that they didn't have a child. They were working with doctors 20 years. He wrote to the Rebbe all the names from all over Israel, also in Bnei Brak. He said all the people in Bnei Brak that he knows, there were 20 people in the group. Everyone had a Yeshua to have a baby. So l'chaim, definitely tonight we want to connect to our Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and the Stachnishkin Shaila that all the Reb Shimon Bar Yochais are connected. It's all Shoyris Neshama Echad. So we want to connect to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. I hope to be at the Tzion HaKodesh maybe tonight or tomorrow. If you would like, please text me your names and I'll write it down and I'll bring it for you. The ikar is that we should koyach of the Shevas Achim Gam Yachad that we're Fabrengen together in the Mitzvah Shem tonight. We're going to learn a Maimah Pnimis HaTorah that we should be Kedai Reb Shimon Lismach Alav B'Shas Adchak and the Doichik in the last few moments of Golus that the Eibusha should give a Yeshua for all Klal Yisrael B'Cholav Mitzdarech and everything we need Bon Chaya Mezoyna Revicha in the most Revicha and ultimately that we should have the embassy Yeshua B'Shiach B'Yis Mashiach Tzidkeinu L'chaim L'chaim.
Amen.
Hine yamato evomanoyim sheves achim gam yachad. Hine yamato evomanoyim sheves achim gam yachad. Ay 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 ay. Hey ya 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 la da da ya da. Ay 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 la da ya. Hey ya 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 la da ya ya. Hey ya 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 la da ya ya. Hey ya 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 da ma ya 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 ma ya da ahine mata evomanoyim Hasheves achim gam yochad. L'chaim.
It's beautiful.
L'chaim v'levrocha. Let's learn a mimer today, a real sweet mimer that'll bring us straight back into the Ma'ora that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai in Pekin. Since we want to get involved into we want to learn Torah. We all want that the Eibusha should open finally our eyes in learning Torah. So let's get into a mimer of Nikdashti b'toich b'nei Yisrael, a mimer of Pnimius HaTorah, and that's specifically a mimer that talks about the Ma'ora of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai in Pekin. The main theme in this mimer is that l'choira akasha. Chazal say that there was a miracle that happened for Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, What was the miracle? That all of a sudden there was a Eina Demaya and a Charuva, as we said before, and as we said before, that there is those that believe till today that they know exactly where the cave is, the Rachaim HaKodesh, as I said, and they know where the Eina Demaya is, and they know where the Charuva is, and that exists. That place is still there till today. So that was miraculous. So why couldn't the Eibishter make that miraculously you should have matzah for Pesach and lulav esrog for Sukkot, tefillin to wear for Shachris, and so on, all the mitzvahs that he needs? Although you could say that he had them, but it doesn't sound from Chazal. That it sounds from Chazal that the miracle was that he had charuva v'yeina demaya. Hayechsed is hayepola ma'Hashem davar. What the Eibishter could only make a miracle that there should be a carob tree and fresh water. How about throwing in a little bit of ribsteak? Kemenisht? Was still given gefährlich? They should have a pastrami sandwich once a month. How about ein simchele babasa and simchele bayayin? How about for Shabbos for Yom Tov to throw something in? I mean, it was get a little boring if you ate carob, breakfast, lunch, and supper 7 days a week.
12 years.
Huh?
12
or 13 years, yeah. I mean, if you add some Smirnoff to it, it's nicht gefährlich. But that doesn't sound like that was the Eina Demaya. So the Alter Rebbe has a mimer without in Shmini. The Alter Rebbe says there's two types of tzaddikim. There's two types of tzaddikim. Because Bepashtus, we find that the Eibishter made certain miracles. For example, with Eliyahu Hanavi, that Achav was bent on he all he wanted was Rachmana litzlan to kill he wanted to kill Eliyahu Hanavi. The Eibishter said, don't worry, we have the Orvim, the ravens are going to bring you every day food in the morning and at night, the best of the best, meat and bread from Achav's house. By the way, think about this, isn't that a pella? Achav, which is the biggest Rasha, apparently the kashrus in his house was not bad. That Eliyahu Hanavi was eating, and this was an actual story. The Gemara learns from here about Boshas and Salam and Ayim. And there's all kinds of miracles. The Eliyahu Hanavi also had the miracle after the Eliyahu Bahar Carmel, that he ate the ugas ritzofim, and then he walked for 40 days and 40 nights, similar to Moshe Rabbeinu, that he became, and bekoyach achilahi. So ayipolam Hashem dover. The Eibishter made that he shouldn't have. Why did the Eibishter make he shouldn't have? So Emes Take, the Alter Rebbe says that there are tzaddikim, that there are two types of tzaddikim. There is tzaddikim that are shoyr abor and levyosen, like the Gemara says that lost love and the Eibishter will make a kanigya. There'll be a big show, and the shoyr and the abor and the levyosen will have a showdown. And the Alter Rebbe explains that there's a mila in each one of the tzaddikim, and that's why they're going to come together. There's a mila in the tzaddik called levyosen. There is two types of tzaddikim. There is a tzaddikim called shoyr abor and the levyosen. The shoyr abor is the yid that his main thing is mitzvahs b'maisa. Levyosen, those are the nuni yama, like the fish. Like the Zohar says, v'yidgu b'loroiv b'kerev ha'oretz nune de yama da mahalchi b'yabeshta. Like the fish that walk on earth. The union of a fish is that a fish knows that his chayis is only in the water. There are tzaddikim that they feel hashgacha protes, and they feel connected to the Eibishter, and for them it's not so important to have mitzvahs b'maises. And there b'chinas levyosen b'loshen levi apam yalove ishelai to make yechudim elyonim, and therefore they could do all the mitzvahs beruchnius, and therefore the Shimon Bechai was able to do all the mitzvahs beruchnius. So the Rebbe asks, so why couldn't the Eibishter make a miracle for him? They should have matzahs and morer and charoises. And how about a few blintzes? So the Rebbe says that those mitzvahs would be insignificant. Those mitzvahs would be totally insignificant. As we know the story of the Alter Rebbe, that when the Alter Rebbe was arrested, and then he was being taken from the jail over with a boat over to the other side where there was the Russian Senate, and where he was going to be interrogated. And it was at night, And he wanted to be Mekadosh de Lavona. There was this clear sky, but he wanted to do it B'dei Etzlula, calm, and he wanted the boat to stop. It was not this going in a yacht, some fancy big boat. It was a little boat, a little rickety boat. So he wanted the boat to stop so he could stand and be Mekabel Pala Hakbel Pnei Shechina properly. So he asked the captain to stop the boat. He refused. The Alter Rebbe stopped the boat, B'derech Nes, miraculously. And the Alter Rebbe showed him that the boat is not moving. Then the Alter Rebbe said, okay, the boat is going to move. A few minutes later, the Alter Rebbe said, how about now, would you stop the boat for me? He said, well, if you give me a blessing, and if you give it to me in writing. And the Alter Rebbe agreed. And Friedrich Rebbe tells in the Torah that the descendant of this captain showed him the bracha of the Alter Rebbe in writing. And the Friedrich Rebbe said, the Chassidim asked if the Alter Rebbe could stop the boat. So just get up and say Kiddush Lavana. So they said, because that's not a kunst, to do a mitzvah miraculously, that's no big deal. That's not the point. If you're doing it al pines, the Gemara has a whole sugi about lahonis memais and nisim. Especially comes Sfiras Oimer. This is the day that we have to work with ourselves. The Gemara has a sugi menachas daf samachtes chitim sheyordu be'ovim. And Rashi Toys has a machloikas. Toys says miraculously the Eibusha sent chitim from heaven. Wow! Mamish chitim came from heaven. No, it's not good. Why is it not good? Because the whole inyan of Sfiras Oimer leading up to Chag HaShavuos is that Yid makes himself a vessel. Avodas hamata. It came easy. It came down flying from heaven. Mais and Nisim. That's you can't bring. You have to bring it from yourself. So if the mitzvah is going to come easy and they come b'derech nes, it will be miraculous. He's going to get a plate of charoises and modern and matzah and blintzes and a sukkah and a lulav and a esrog and a dasim v'arobes, a shofar. That doesn't accomplish anything. It's a moide merondik if you think about this. It's remarkable. We always think to ourselves that a bonus shaloilam. You see, you buy a disc, you buy a program. Oitza Chochma, they advertise now. They have 100,000 for them. I'm a chaya. I just figured out that on my phone I have Safaria. I'm a chaya. I could click and I get the right away the Gemara, and I click on the Gemara. I get all the Rishonim. So I figured out I can actually I don't know why it didn't occur to me till now that I'll do it on my computer, and then I can cut and paste and make the source sheets for Sunday morning shir. That's why today it was the size of the usual, because it was easier. I didn't have to type up. Usually if it was a Taz or Favor from a Morgan Avram or a K'tzos and a Sivis, a Shagasaria, but they're working overtime. They're constantly updating. I'm a chaya. That's what I told you today. From now we have Sunday morning new and expanded. New I'm a chaya. And I think to myself, can I take this little box, this shasu poiskim, everything? Can I just slip it in like this? Just slip it in, Azoy. Just slip it in, Azoy. Get it in there. Machaya, the same Billy Benu. Could you get this little piece in? But that's not special. Dafke when a Yid has nisyones and he's sitting, could you imagine Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? Emes Kaka, that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is avodas Hashem. He wasn't in pain when he's not in Marsov Apela. He was sitting with Elionah learning Torah. It was unbelievable. But his body was in pain. Like a Vahadayah that a Pinchas Ben Yair cried. And when he took him to the bathhouse after 13 years and he saw the condition of his skin. And it was painful when the salty tears fell into the cracks in his flesh that were open and exposed because of being 13 years in a cave. So too, his spirit was not in Golos, but his body was in the cave. So the Eibishter will send him a couple of kazayis matzah. That kazayis matzah, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai doesn't need it. Because anyway, he's doing the mitzvah beruchnis. And if you're going to give me this b'derech nes, I don't need it. That's the point in this maimer. Agav, there's another maimer, there's a sicha. This is a maimer, Erev Lag Ba'omer, like we're sitting today, Erev Lag Ba'omer, Tov Shemem Zayin. And there is also Erev Lag Ba'omer, Tov Shemem Gimel. The Rebbe says slightly a different beard, which, both Biyurim help each other. He says that it depends when Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was in the Ma'ara, the Eibishter picked him up. He didn't need mitzvahs ma'asis. Then the point was liyachid yechudim elyonim. to do that's when the Rebbeinu Shalom wanted him to do mitzvah spiritually, not physically. There was no point. It would be pointless to have matzah than begashmias. The point that Rebbeinu Shalom wanted him to have beruchnis the matzah. But then when he came out of the cave, the Eibishter wanted Isha begashmias because the Eibishter lowered him down. Now that you're in a lower place, you need the mitzvahs begashmias. When you're in the cave, you don't need the mitzvahs begashmias. You see the unbelievable thing. When the Rebbeinu Shalom says we have to daven now in the house, we are in a higher place. We could daven with Esa Koichas HaNefesh. We are in a higher plane. We're in the Ma'ora and Pakin. We don't need a minion. The Rebbeinu Shalom says now, with the Esa Koichas HaNefesh. L'chaim, l'chaim. This is from both biurim we take out, from the biur in this maimer and the biur in the other maimer in Tofshin Mem Gimel, we take two powerful lessons. The lesson in this maimer is that if it comes easy, if it's miraculous, if it's abracadabra kadu, it's nice, but it's not a mitzvah. A mitzvah is when it comes hard. It's not easy. It's hard. I'm lazy. Not in the mood. Not interested. And the Yetzer Hara is pulling me every direction, but in direction of Limud HaTorah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, this is where your Nefesh Elokis is pulling you to. Exactly. Beautiful. But the Nefesh HaBahamas is not pulling that direction with a piece of matzah. That's unbelievable. That'll heal you. The whole soul and body, but the yid gets pulled. That's when it's valuable. And the other lesson we learn from the other biur is that sometimes the Eibishter wants us to be down below, and that's when we need certain mitzvahs ma'asiyos. Sometimes the Eibishter picks us up and he puts us in the cave and he says, Yidalach, now you sit in the cave and be meyachid yichudim al yonim. Don't worry about the mitzvahs ma'asiyos. Because now your job is to meyachid yichudim al yonim. Dear friends, now our job is to meyachid yichudim al yonim. In a few minutes, Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to be here, and it'll be all over. It'll be higher level, but there won't be these things that are not Ma'aseh Nisim. They come hard. And therefore, we take the Yisr Oir, Bomer HaChoshech, that they take the Choshech itself and turn it into Oir, that won't be available. In a few minutes, it's all over. So, Rabbi said, Chaptarain, the last few minutes, as we're in the Ma'ora and the Pakian, and let's make L'chaim together. L'chaim, L'chaim.
Chaim.
I'd like to ask everyone to make a L'chaim for Eli Tzitzin's father. Eli said that his father called him today to say that Nebuch, he has this terrible virus. Dov ben Beilul refuah shleima should have a refuah shleima, and all of Klal Yisrael should have a refuah shleima. Kedai Reb Shimon lismach alav b'shat tzadchak. L'chaim, l'chaim.
Chaim, l'chaim, refuah shleima.
Okay. Before we start the Maimer, maybe we should sing a nigun. And not only we should sing a nigun, but Shevas Achim, even though Chabad, usually we sing Chabad Nigunim. But tonight, as an exception, because of the specialty of Shevas Achim, I'd like there's a minig, a kadman, to sing a piyut that was written by the Kesem Poz, Reb Shimon. And in Miron, they sing it every Friday night. And at Yisrael, they sing it the Shabbos before Lag BaOmer. And that was a couple of years ago. I was for Imiron for Lag BaOmer. Yeah, I sent it out. Did you get the? No?
No.
Are you sure?
Look at the text message. Look at the text message.
Look at the text message. Shmulik, look at your text message.
Okay.
Look at your text message. Let me see. I got the text message.
It says Zoom. The first one, BITLIY.
Yes, the BATLY. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we could sing together now. I'll open it.
Okay. Bar Yochai Nimshachto Ashrecha Shemen Sosoin Mecha Veirecha Bar Yochai Nimshachto Ashrecha Shemen Sosoin Mecha Veirecha Bar Yochai Shemen Mishchas Kodesh Nimshachto Mimidas HaKodesh No Soso Tzitzei Zera Kodesh Chavush al roshcha pebeirecha bar yochai nimshachto ashrecha shemen sosoin bar yochai nimshachto ashrecha shemen sosoin mechaveirecha bar yochai moshav tov yashavta yoim nasta yoim asher borachta במאוריס צורים שמדת שם כניסה התחוודרך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי עצי שיטים עומדים לימודי השם הם לא עומדים אור מופלא יויקדם יויקדם הלוי הם ירוך מוירך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי ובשתי ספוחים אליסה ללכת בימר כוחים סוי תוירה כציצים ופרוחים נשא אדם נאמר בעבורך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נזרת בגבורה ובמלחמת אש דס השורה בחרבות צייסה מטרה שלפת נגד צורריך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי למקום אבני שיש הגעת ופני אריולייש גם גולס קיסרס עלייש תשורי ומישורך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי בקודש הקדושים קו יורק מחדש חדשים שבע שבסות סות חמושים קושרת כשתי קשורך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי יוד חוכמה קדומה השקפת לכבוד הפנימה 32 נסיבס רישס תרומה עד קרוב ממשך זיו עירך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי נמשכת אשריך שמן סוסין מחברך בר יחי אור מופלא רוי ממילא יורס מלהבית קירב לו תלום ואין קורא לו Namta ayin Elois shurecha bar yochai nimshachta ashrecha shemen sosoin mechaverecha bar yochai nimshachta ashrecha shemen sosoin mechaverecha bar yochai ashrei ladetecha ashrei om heim ladecha ve'ashrei ha'im demal soidecha levushecha shentumecha ve'yorecha bar yochai nishachta ashrecha shemen sosoin mechaverecha bar yochai nimshachta ashrecha shemen sosoin mechaverecha l'chaim v'livrocha.
Amen.
So now let's learn the mimer. This was a warm-up to learning some mimer. As when we enter a mimer, we have to warm up for the mimer. But when we come out of the mimer, we'll be boiling hot. We'll be red hot. Alicia, you agree? Zog the mimer.
Eat some hot soup, we'll be boiling.
Hine neuse vlazesher mi pasuk zeh nelma da mitzvah say the kiddush Hashem. Are isa bezoyer the pikuda do lekatshel b'chol yoyma. From the pasuk in Ikdashti b'toich b'nei Yisrael, which is a pasuk in Parashas Emor, we learn two things. Number one, the mitzvah of kiddush Hashem, that a Jew gives off, will sacrifice his life for the sanctity of the Almighty. And the second mitzvah is that the Zohar says pikuda do lekatshel b'chol yoyma shezo achidush lechiyuv lekatshel b'chol yoyma. That there's an obligation to do for a Jew to sanctify God's name every day. And how does a Jew do it? Before we say Krishma, we sanctify Hashem's name by saying Kodesh Kodesh. Interesting to note, because we're learning now that there is an opinion that says that the Kodesh before Shema is a Sipur Dvorim B'Alma. And the Kodesh we say when we stand on Shemon Esrei, that's the real Kodesh. But here the Rebbe is going, just saying that no, that the Kodesh before Shema, we're doing the mitzvah of an Ikdashti b'toich b'nei Yisrael. So right now, when most of us are not davening with a minyan, we'd like to go with this way of thinking. That we're mekayim the mitzvah of an Ikdashti b'toich b'nei Yisrael by saying, Kodesh, 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 Hashem tzvokas malach loretz kvoide ve'fayne v'chayis HaKodesh b'rash godel. And when we say with the Rash Godel, Mesnasim, Lomas Asrofim, and we're Mekayim then the mitzvah of Nikdash to B'tech B'nei Yisrael. Mavu Mubel Zabad Rushim, Masha Amrazal, B'Mesechet Chulm, Shia, Sholish Kitas Shomalachim, Mashoris, Shem, Rishir, B'Chalyim, Achas Ameres Kodesh, Vachas Amedes, Kodesh, Kodesh, Vachas Amedes, Kodesh, 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 Hashem Tzvakas, Murvur, Sham, Dinyan, Gimel, B'Chinas, Kodesh, Gimel Akitas, Shem, Moisa, Shem, Gimel, Madreges, B'Avodas Hashem. The Maimer explains what does it mean there's three, and the Alter Rebbe explains that there is the Seraphim, which are standing in Bria, there's the Chayes HaKodesh, which is standing in Yitzida, and then there's a Fanim that are standing in Olam HaAsiyah. And the lowest level, they say, the highest level says Kodesh, the second, the lower one says Kodesh, Kodesh, and the lowest says Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. It's counterintuitive. You would think that the highest level says 3 times Kodesh, but that's not the way it is. The other way around, Alter Rebbe explains that the highest level of Malachim, they say 1 time Kodesh. They have a saga, even though that the Eibishter is Machaya the world every moment, and the Eibishter is present every place. But they understand that simultaneously that the Eibishter is present in the truth of the Eibishter is Kodesh, is Soiviv Kol Almim, and therefore they're yearning to come close to the Eibishter, to the Kedusha of the Eibishter. They're not interested in nothing. The Seraphim just want to get burnt up and become one with the Eibishter. The Chayes HaKodesh are a little lower. They want to come close to Hashem, but they don't want to die. They don't want to lose their identity. They want to bring down the Kedusha. So they want to feel the Kedusha by going up, and they also want to bring it down through learning Torah. And then there is the lowest, which is Efanim. They want to bring it down even lower because they're in the world of Asiyah. Torah will bring down the Kedusha of the Eibishter in the world, but to bring us down to Tapora de Placha, to bring it down all the way to Olam Asiyah, You need Ma'isa mitzvahs. And that's the difference of Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. I'm saying it Bekitz and Nimritz. Mitzvah Shem, Tuesday night, we'll continue on this theme because we're learning now the Pirush Hamilas, and we'll go a little deeper into understanding what the Alter Rebbe is saying. But here the Alter Rebbe just the Rebbe is bringing the Kitzer from that Maimon. And I want to ask a simple question. Usually when you think Kodesh, 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 you're thinking of one thing happening at the same time. Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. Here the Alter Rebbe is saying it's three different things. Rotze, Shoiv, Torah, Mitzvahs. There's all kinds of different things. Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim. When you do Torah, you're not doing Tefillah. When you do Tefillah, you're not doing Torah. And you can't do a mitzvah at the same time. There's certain mitzvahs, a person has to be Makabah the mitzvah. He's not going to learn Torah. He's not going to do Tefillah. That's a precedent. We can't juggle all three balls at the same time. So here, in the regular, the Pashto Pshat, the Kodesh, Kodesh is that they're saying it all in one shot. And this is it means the same thing. Kodesh, Kodesh. Before you learned this Ma'amad the Alter Rebbe, did you think that you say Kodesh, 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 you're talking about three different things? When you look in the Siddur, holy, holy, holy. It's a Zalba holy. The second holy is not different than the first holy, and Kolchkin the third holy. Holy, holy, holy. So the Rebbe is masber in this Maimer that the emes is that Reb Shimon bar Yochai, when he was in the cave, and he did Yechudim Elyonim, he didn't daven and he didn't do mitzvahs, but he learned Torah. But it was as if he learned Torah and it was Makayim mitzvahs. So by him, he had all three things, Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim, Kodesh, 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 at the same time. And sometimes there's a special occasion in a Yid's life that all three happen at the same time. A special occasion in a Yid's life. But otherwise, there's three separate things. There's Man Torah L'chud, there's Man Tefillah L'chud. There's Torah, there's Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim, and you have to dedicate time for all three. And all three are important. Amnam bebiyur inyan zeh yeshna shnei suge biyurim ba'drushim. She'enim somim lev lazek. Medu bekam apom shedvarim pshutim einish som alev. The pash das loshna gemara mashum shakata achas. Emer is pam achat kodesh v'kata beis am beis pam kodesh v'kata gimel pam kodesh. Amnam biyur ba'drushim mashum shakol kat. Omer is bechinas kodesh acher. It's a different pshat. The first, the second kodesh, third kodesh, according to Chassidus, said three different things. B'tzarich biur mao ahefresh ben beizay fanim. V'inyan dinim avur badrushim sham. The bechinas kodesh alav koi alav the mesiris nefesh yechid abba ve'emet yichud chachmo bina. The first level of kodesh is the highest level. It's mesiris nefesh. He's not interested in anything. Serafim. He wants to get burnt. He wants to become one with the Eibishter. That creates the yichud of abba ve'emet yichud chachmo bina. That's kodesh. And then this Kodesh Habeis, Koyal Limud Torah, Kodesh Hagimel, Koyal Ma'aseh Mitzvahs, V'hem Gimel Amudim, Torah Avodah Gemilas Chasadim. L'fi ze Yotze Shehu Kol Kodesh Unyim B'fnei Atzmai, B'zam B'fnei Atzmai. V'kamosh B'pashtus, there's man Tefillah L'chud, there's man Torah L'chud, there's man Mitzvah L'chud. That B'pashtus, according to the Biur in the Maimer, these are three different things at three different times and three different places. This is Yerushalmi Gabriel Shemem B'Yechai, Shoyter Osam Nosei, Shehifsek Lasses, Sukkah V'Lulav. When he was not in the cave, the Gemara says that also Reb Shimon bar Yochai would stop learning and he would build a sukkah and go fix himself the lulav and the esrig and the adasim. From this lashon Yisham itself is mashma that there is two different things. If it was the same thing, it wouldn't be mafsek. Because it has a gather of hafsaka, the Gemara calls it hafsaka. He stopped learning Torah. Yet in the brackets, he's going to say that there was a pul in Sheches, even though he stopped learning Torah. Chaim. But the learning Torah had a pul in Sheches. It says, but still, even that's why he's called Torasem Nasi. You say, what do you mean Torasem Nasi? He's doing it all the time? He's not. He does. The Gemara says he stopped to build a sukkah. But there is a pul in Sheches of his learning Torah. Skip the brackets. And he called Kodesh in B'fnei Atzmai Masha Emunim Sheshin and Shekat Achas Emeres Beipam Kodesh Kachas Achas Emeres Gimel Pam Kodesh Nimtza Shel Pam Beis Avodas the Torah Avodah Ogam Gimel Avodas Avodah Torah V'Gimel the Torah Avodah Gimel Chasadim Kulan Nas B'Vas Achas. So according to the Pashto Pshat, Kodesh 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 is holy, holy, holy. All three mean the same thing. According to Pnimiyas Torah, there's three different meanings. As we'll learn in Mitzvah Shem and the Maimer, more detail. The Rebbe says that both are true. Sometimes it's this way, and sometimes it's the other way. Let's we can connect this to avoid the b'shimon beichai. Tomorrow is Yom Elula, right? Today is Erev like Bomer. You do abir balkut the Torah. Echim Reb Shimon beichai mitzvahs. Both of them are shaz lo yochel kai mitzvahs achilas matzah begashmias. Dav shezo oinus v'oinus rechmonik patre. But the Shalmi says, command the Ovid lo yamrina. If Taka oinus, he won't get punished, but it's not as if he did it. So l'chayda nimtza shechaser is lacking the Maila and the Toyelis he would have had, and the Amshachas and the Mamshich and the Yechudim he would be meyacha through doing the mitzvah. Taki won't be punished. Oinus rechmonach patre, but command Ovid lo yamrinon. Bavur bazeh shkim mitzvah shloi b'yosem more mitzvahs beruchnis. Bezeu mashen ishmon se b'bchinas l'vyos. Rosh napam yalav yishela yichad chachmo b'nei nemeseres nefesh v'chein maspek etzla shkim mitzvahs beruchnis. For him, he didn't need the mitzvahs begashmis. Mitzvahs beruchnis was good enough for him. Why couldn't the Eibush to make his also begashmis the mitzvahs? Yochel asas leines yetzlei mit matzos v'suke k'moy b'liyos shehalach b'koyach achila b'em yoim shegam zeh anes v'ader zanas lo'idnes she'oid v'mevir lo'lechem v'beis achim. So there was a nes Leo before Hara Carmel. There was a miracle that the ravens brought him food, lechem and basar every morning and every afternoon from the Beis Achim. So he had steak for breakfast and steak for supper. Not bad. And so the B'shim B'yachai for 30 years is eating carob. So what's the pshat? It's not that the Eibush decided to do everything with Derech HaTeva. The Eibush did give him a nes. Befedish a nes. Befedish a nes. Shnas al nes v'nivr lo yeit shacharuvim v'gam yotza mayim chayim v'yesh omrim sha'adayin yesh noi hamayon oyhem sheichoy v'chein ho'ilon oyhem sheichoy b'pakiyin be'eretz hakodesh. This is the line I wanted to show you. You see it? That there are those that say that even today there is still the Mayan. And even today, there's still the Ilan, or a hemshech of that Mayan, a hemshech of that Ilan. That Ilan had, produced another Ilan, which produced another Ilan, which goes back to the original Ilan. And the several Ilanas there today, but the Ego goes back to the original Ilan. Because that was all miraculous. Agav, there's a shaklavataya. It started to grow fruits right away, but he didn't keep the years of Orla. So some answer that because it's Maisa Nes, so there's no shaykh the years of Orla. And others answer because it was growing in the desert, it wasn't a regular field, and therefore it's potter from Shnei Orla. But there was a miracle. So if the Eibush already made the miracle and gave him a charuva ve'ein adamaya, why couldn't the Eibush to send the matzahs and charoises to? Ach ze move mama vor be makam ach shikim mitzvos begashmis tzarich lis dafka kapiteva ki du asipar kvayt kudush mer v'chamei admoyer advaran hoges admoyer azokem be yosef be ma'isa shirotzas lakada shalavana be yosef be sida beknor v'lo rotza hagoy shasir shehinig asir lotzra v'az otzra admoyer zoken as asir be derech nes v'achach bikish magoy shetzren ba'atzmai v'az kiddush shalavana be yishuv adas hamasam l'kiddush shalavana shekabalas pnei avinu shebashamayim v'vor atam shebikish achach latzra svina ki kiyum ha-mitzvah tzarich lis apiteva begashmis dafka v'lachein lo yoyo zeh eitzel Reb Shimon B'yachai. The Chassidim said that for sure he could stop the boat miraculous, but that's not the point. When we want to be makbil vinu shebashamayim pamachas b'chodesh in a bekovedik way, has to be done b'derech hateva. So he had no choice. So the achona for the mitzvah he did b'derech nes because he had no choice, but the actual mitzvah he wanted to do b'derech hateva. The same thing here. If Shimon B'yachai, if he will get charoises and morer amata b'derech nes, that he doesn't need that. He can already do the mitzvah beruchnis. He can do the mitzvah beruchnis. To eat, he has to eat. If the Eibush that made a nest, there was a charuva ve'ena demaya. This is especially relevant in the days of Sfiras Omer. The korban Omer tzarech liyis. Moshe v'seichem dafke k'mosh kosa k'tavoy al oretz v'esem es Omer v'ad sheyesh ha'elu b'gemarim chitim shor d'barvim k'sherim l'shtei alechem. Shim d'ksiv b'hu Moshe v'seichem v'loy rak t'shachitim nasa b'avin d'ei nesel gamim yor d'ba'ov v'hainu shemuv v'makam achem. Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos. And the Gemara says in Menachos, daf samach tesam et beis. There's a shaila, the chitim that came down from the clouds, if it's kosher for shtei aleichem on Shavuos or not. What does it mean they came from the clouds? So machloikas, it means that they went flying from one place to the other place, or pasha, taka, miraculous. So why is it not good if the Eibusha sends them chitim from the clouds? Because that's against the whole idea of the Sfiras Omer, and then leads up to Chag Shavuos. And not something that comes b'derech nes malamayla. But yesh lo mishazot tam toichen avoid the Sfiras Omer. Svartam lachem machar shav shavos mimus diena. Shetoichen avoid the ilu malamata lamayla. Apiteva betchilas yemechet v'achar shnei yomim v'chin hola. That a yid purifies one midah at a time until 7 times 7. V'chein hola ad sheva shavos mimus diena. Gelds moving the ikra avoid tzarchlis apiteva begashmi is daf. V'chein kim mitzvahs der Rabbi b'mora loibe. Beginnes mais, mitzvahs begashmi sel avoid the ruchnas the beginnes levios. So might as well, if he's going to have the mitzvahs begashmi is beteva, fine. But if he's not going to have the mitzvahs begashmi is beteva, might as well just do the mitzvahs beruchnis liyachet yichudim al yoinim. Because if you have a mitzvah that comes easy, b'derech nes, that's nothing. And we give shkol avodas beruchnis actually sets like scholars the kol gimel amudim atoyra avodah gimel salsodem kiv shebekulam avodas beifend the levios ni mesiris nefesh the gam atoyra mitzvah shloy b'maor beifend mesiris nefesh b'chat keteris katarna. When he was in the maor, he stood in such a dveikus to the Eibishter, b'chat like just like he said by his yortzeit that it's a yom simcha because he's now he's b'chad katirna, like dinya of ketoides. He's now becoming one with the Eibishter with a kesher, not just dovuk. Not only is cleaving to the Eibishter, but he's with a tight knot. When he was in the Maras, in the Pakim, and he was Maras Pakim for the entire 13 years, he was an unbelievable rotzi to the Eibishter. And his learning Torah, and his yichudim al yoinim, his Torah, his avodah, his gemilas chasodim, everything was. This was imbued with the Yechudim al-Yoinim of this Mesiris Nefesh of the Sirotzit that he had. V'zeh al derech ha'inyan, Mashikat achas omeres kodesh, Meshenkim etzesim in ha'ora. Shaz nasa ma'asa mitzvah shalom in the Torah shloi, ha'tzorech liyas b'gash mitzkipshuta, v'lcheno is man Torah l'chud, is man tefillah l'chud. So when the Rabbi was out of the Ma'ora Taka, there's 3 different things. The Torah Vedik Melas Sasadam, and he was in Ma'ora. He had such a rotzi to be, and he was to be close to the Eibishter, that everything, the Torah, Avodah, Mitzvah, all rolled into one. So these are the 2 ways of having Kodesh. Either the 3 Kodesh means the same thing, or the 3 Kodesh means 3 different things in 3 different times. There is sometimes that Avodas Hashem, everything has to be a chant. All the Avodas have to come into one. To focus on one at a time. And what is it, Poil? Poil Yeshua's Bekerev Aretz. Ad shenikra yem simchosa shelipshim meichai v'agdevet b'chol zeh boim l'kiyum. Ashkosa betchilas ha'parasha abo kisavoy ol haaretz. Kisavoy ol haaretz. V'shav sa'aretz Shabbos l'Hashem. That right away that we should be zoichet to be savoy ol haaretz ala eretz hakodesh, and that should happen b'pashtus, b'biyah, b'meheida, v'yameinu mamish.
Amen.
L'chaim, l'chaim.
L'chaim. Rabbi, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Main.
Sure, ask.
Rashbi was in the Me'ara 13 years, but he was from Sunday till Friday, he was inside the sand.
Yeah.
And Shabbat, he had a clothes. He wore clothes.
Right.
So how his body wasn't good? He was inside the sand is the best protection.
I'm not sure. You got to talk to a physician, or maybe someone that probably the moisture in the sand is not good for the skin. It's good maybe for a treatment for 20 minutes, but not for 24 hours straight.
Now, second thing,
Medicare Part B.
Huh?
You didn't have Medicare Part B.
Oh, okay.
Azar.
Yeah.
For some reason, after 120, all of us go to the ground forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, second thing, the song Bar Yochai,
Yeah.
the Ben Ish Chai wrote it down.
Right.
And he wrote 3 songs, and this is one of the songs.
Right.
The whole Bar Yochai.
Yes, Bar Yochai was written by the Ben Ish Chai. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, special for Sasson, I figured that tonight, these are the 2 songs we'll sing, Bar Yochai and V'amartem Koi L'choi Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, which is written by the Ben Ish Chai.
And
So
he has my name there, the first pasuk.
Both songs have your name. The first song has Shem and Sosen, like Shmulik points out, and Koi L'choi is also written by the Ben Ish Chai.
Yeah.
Rabbi,
So-
can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why is everybody so fakish? I remember when I was a bacha, I was in Miron. We used to go up there with the Masayid from Kfar Chabad. I never saw this thing about putting cotton and making a fire. What's the whole Indian of making the fire? And who should light it and add more oil to it? Is this,
I know it became very big in the last few years.
Is this just pageantry?
No. There is an old minig in Eretz Yisrael that's brought in Sfarim. No. It is an old minig brought in Sfarim.
And they throw those svardim in also?
No, hopefully not. So let's summarize what we had in the Maimer. 2 biyurim about why the Rebbeinu Shalom made a miracle that he should have in this cave in Pakin, that he should have a Eina Demaya, Charuvin Eina Demaya, that he should have a boksa tree and he should have fresh water. And yet, the Eibusha didn't send over the ravens with lechem v'basar and didn't send over a little bit of charoises and blintzes. Why? The biyur in this maimer is, if they offered to give you the oitzah chachma like this, not that special. It's not that special. If they offered to take away all your nisyonis, we don't ask for nisyonis. But if they offered to make it easy, miraculous, not special. Because dafke, when a yid does a mitzvah b'derech hateva that breaks through, the oida laki breaks through his kafir sitracher and his hapche chashaychel oida. When you do the mitzvah with nature, so the kedusha permeates that natural phenomenon, that time and space where you did the mitzvah. But if it's b'derech nes, so that it doesn't permeate into the gashmias. So therefore, if to do a mitzvah, he was meyachid yechudim al yoinim, he was from the neshamas that will have yosin, so he did the mitzvahs anyway. But the other beauty is that sometimes the Eibishter wants a yid to be in a higher level. So it's not negeya, because he doesn't want him to be down in gashmias. And over there, the job is liyachid yechudim al yoinim. Sometimes the yid is lowered down into the world. And then when he is in a low place, the only way to permeate kedusha is only through, when you're in Olam HaYetzirah, you could permeate kedusha through Torah. But when you're in Olam HaSiyah, the only way to do it is through mitzvahs ma'asiyos. It's not going to happen otherwise. So the 2 lessons that we learn is that even when it's a little rough, so don't get despondent. The adrabah, that means that you're bringing the kedusha. When you see that that it's getting rough and there's a lot of nisyonis, that means that, like the Alter Rebbe and Tanya, you know, when the 2 people are fighting and one guy feels he's losing, he's trying to give his best punch. He says when I eat dafka, when he's trying to daven, that's when all of a sudden, when all the nasty machshava zaras come along. When he was not trying to daven, the Yetzer Hara is not busy. But now the Yid is starting to win, the Yetzer Hara is getting busy. He's trying to throw his last desperate punch. So we got off on a tangent. I get back to the thing. The ikid is that the one from this mime we learn that every mitzvah that we do begashmias, b'derech hateva, is very special. And the other beer we learn is that sometimes the Eibishter wants you to be down in the lower place, and we need to do mitzvahs b'maisa, and you need to daven with a minyan. And sometimes the Eibishter picks you up, daven with the esa koiches hanefesh, and you do the kodesh, kodesh, kodesh. And with that, the saying Kodesh Kodesh with the Esa Koiches HaNefesh, even without a minyan, you mekayim the mitzvah v'kedashti b'toich b'nei Yisrael. Now let's do V'amartem Koi L'choi. L'chaim, l'chaim. Eibusha shall helfen that the 2 lessons that we learned from the 2 biyurim should penetrate into us. And l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim Shnei, the Kohen that is standing in front of 770.
I know it's a background. I know.
I know
Rabbi.
you went flying from the Verrazano Bridge to 770 so quickly.
No, it was the San Francisco Bridge.
I'm sorry, Alfred. So you probably could go so quick that you can go to the Maris Pekin too.
I'm trying to look for the background picture for the Mara, so I'm gonna, when I find it, I'll put it on.
Okay, shkoyach.
Well, I mean, Rabbi, I didn't hear anything about the shoes. Why are we taking by the sin?
Oh, you're not forgetting. We'll get there.
No,
we'll
I'm
get
not
there, and if we don't get there,
really
Blin added. If we don't get there tonight, we're gonna get there anyway. We're not gonna forget.
Right. We're still here.
Okay, if you have the copies on your phone, please take it out. Otherwise, you follow along with us.
I had the schut to have my option as 51 years ago by Rav Shimon Bar Yochai.
Oh, wow.
And I had the schut to bring my son David Yosef to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai to do his optioners. And the biggest schut is my wife birthday is in Bomer.
Wow. So mazel tov, so I'm lying gezisse yoren.
Amen.
And together you should be mekabel for the Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Amen.
Very good.
And how lucky I am. This year, all the jewelry clothes are closed. So I could give you only a spiritual present.
But I hope you didn't try to buy flowers today. It's the Mother's Day. You can't find the flower, Mistam, in the whole New York.
No, I said he might have the disease on it, so it doesn't come into the house.
Ah, okay, fine. Very good. L'chaim.
On the telephone, you have a picture from flowers you could send.
Ah, very good.
But כדאי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי לסמוך עליו, זכוס.
Yeah.
ואמרתם כל לחוי.
ואמרתם כל לחוי, רבי שמעון בר יוחאי. ואמרתם כל לחוי, רבי שמעון צדיקוי. איש אלוהים
קדושו,
אשרי יין
לב
חכם יסקי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ואמרת כל לחוי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ברוך הוא מפי עליון קודש הוא מהר עליון מאיר גליל העליון אדוננו בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון צדיקוי גיבור ואיש מלחמה בדס תורה זמימה מלא מדע וחכמה אדוננו בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון צדיקוי דורש כל תלמויז ביוז וסצומויז עולם אלוהיס רבמויז אדוננו בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון צדיקוי וכבא בסייך מווארה מפני הגזירה שמה מתסיסי סיירה אדוננו בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל
לחוי רבי שמעון
בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי
רבי שמעון צדיקוי ושם נברא מעיין לוי וחרוב למחלוי מה הטוב חלקוי וחבלוי אדוננו בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון צדיקוי זכר צדיק לברכה דרך וברך זכר רבי תזכה אדוננו בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון צדיקוי חידוש כמה הלכות הם במשנה ארוכות זה המרגיז ממלכות אדוננו בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ואמרתם כל לחוי רבי שמעון צדיקוי תהיה אסיר טבריה also isa nekiya hoydulay mishimaya adenayno bar yochai vamartem koilechai Rabbi Shimon bar yochai ve'amartem koilechai Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Yoda Kol HaNistoros, Devoravos Impevedos, Bitel Kama Gizedos, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Ve'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Kol Yom Asher Choyo, Ois HaKeshes Loiniyo, Ki Hu Oisoi Lomoyo, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Lechol Yisrael Ayir, B'soy Torah Habohir, Ki Yoracham Omazir, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Mokom Bochar Bishmaya, Imanovi Achia, Zemibnei Aliyah, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Nechmat Miyoy Lemala, Zochali Korug Dulo, Keser Elyon Loy Niglo, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Sinai Loy Nikra, Arisha Bechabura, Mimenu Teitzei Soira, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Asa Shivim Tikunim, Yikorim Mipeninim, Baham Tikkuno Elyonim, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Posach Espiv Bechachma, Hoitzior Saluma, Tikkun Zorei Chawama, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Tzadik Yisoid Ovoilam, Niglam in Midrash Hanelam, Yochel Lifter Hovoilam, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, Va'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Koilei Zimer Aditzim, V'hirches Esakovoitzim, V'hitzil Alechutzim, Adonai Bar Yochoi, Martem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, V'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Kora Ponav Miyerim, B'shivtayim Mechaverim, Eis Gila Soid Nistorim, Adonai Bar Yochoi, V'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, V'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Doiver Shalom al Mishkavai, Ma Yofyo Matuvai, Doiver Emes Belvavai, Adonai Bar Yochoi, V'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, V'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi, Toiros Mogeinu, Ibira Seineinu, Uyam Mitzvah V'aleinu, Adonai Bar Yochoi, V'amartem Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochoi, V'amartem Koilechoi, Rabbi Shimon Tzadikoi. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
I still remember the sheep that we did in E17 in the backyard. and then we roasted.
Yeah, they had a good time. I had a good time.
I remember all the kids says Shabbos we play with that, and then Sunday the guys go ahead and make a party on it.
I know that was a little complicated part. The kids wanted we should leave it around.
Yeah.
Good. Abisha Telfon that soon we'll be ordering many of them because we'll be Sham Nasel Fanecha, Kamitzas Ritzainecha, and it'll come Chag HaShavuos, and every Yid will have to bring a Oilus Riyah and a Shalmi Chagiga.
Amen, amen, amen.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
L'chaim, l'chaim. Before you go, I want to answer a question that someone asked, and Mitzvah Shem Sunday morning I will answer it in more detail. Why is it that we wear shoes? Why do we wear shoes to begin with? So the reason we wear shoes is because the earth was cursed. And the Gemara says a person should even sell koides base, should even sell the beams over his head to buy shoes. That's how important it is to have shoes. The Rebbe explains in Avodas Hashem that koides base there's the Yamoki, which is Yerushalayim, and koides base even stronger than that. But you have to start with Sur Meirah. There's no such thing. A person can't be in Shmutz and still grow in Avodas Hashem. So he has to have a leather shoe separating from him and the earth, which is cursed from Chet, Eitz, Adas. But there's certain places in the world that are so holy and so special. In the presence of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and all the Reb Shimon Bar Yochais, that just like Moshe Rabbeinu, when he came to Har Elikim Chereva, the Eibusha said, "Sh'ol na'alecha ma'al raglecha ka'amokem asher omed alav achid mas koideshu." Take your shoes off. What is it? Was just a technical thing of respect? It's a societal thing. And how about in Western societies where it's not so mikubal that you take your shoes and socks off when you come in to the White House? So over there, it wouldn't be relevant to say Shal Nolechem. There's no Chetat Zadas here. So therefore, it's not needed to have a shoe. Adarab, better your feet should be on the ground because the ground is hallowed. And therefore, there were certain tzaddikim, and we'll talk about the Sunday. There's a line of throughout the generations of different tzaddikim that the Mokim Kedoshim that they went for their Rebbes, especially for the Chachmei Asoid, that they would take their shoes off. So that's the reason why when we go to the Tzion HaKodesh, we take our shoes off.
I see people wearing not leather shoes. Is that
true? Because that was because it's just like Yom Kippur. Just like Yom Kippur, it's good enough. Part of why Yom Kippur we don't wear shoes is because Lamal Yusa, because it's Shabbos Shabbosin. So the Chet of Ekeitz Tadas is not so strong in the world. We don't need leather shoes, but we wear socks and slippers. So to say that's the reason why we don't wear shoes when we go to the oil.
Why when we go to our Rizal's Keber and we go to a lot of Kavarim, we still wear shoes.
Right, there's different Kabbalah, different Tzaddikim, and different Talmidim who treated how they treated, and it's a question. Each place has a different, each Makom Kodesh has a different flavor and a different Masoida. But there's a different type of kedusha for each place. There is just like the Rebbe had once a letter from his father. He said, "Don't do too much of misper cotton. Misper cotton is a gvuris. Don't do too much gematriot of misper cotton." There's different type of kedushas, misper godel, misper cotton. So the bottom line is that's the market of the minhag. In Mitzvah Shem Sunday we get a chance. We'll get a little more if we get a chance to more barichas in it. Otherwise, this is good enough. Dikr is l'chaim l'chaim. That
I had a question, Rabbi.
Yeah. That we should have the Sheva only tonight. We should feel the Sheva Sachim constantly.
Amen.
Pinchas.
Yes. If I remember correctly, one of the Yom Yoms, it says on Lag BaOmer that one of the Rebbe would go out and with the tune maybe there was a lot of Nisim. Was it actually called what type of Nisim that they were going on or making mistakes?
The main thing of the Nisim was with sons, with children. That was brought.
Oh.
That was the main thing. So anyway, but it's good. It's good for all. It's good for all Yidden and for all things of V'shas Adchak. If there's anything you would like and you would like to write it, you text it to me. And Blinada, when I go to the Tzion HaKodesh, I'll bring the note for you. L'chaim. David shall helfen that Reb Shimon should said he could lift it as Olam and Adin. The Taka he should finally now the schus of this Yom HaKodesh of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the Yom Simchos of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, that they should be nifter, the whole oilam should be nifter from din. And as we know, and the Rebbe used to koch and this thing that Api Kabbalah after din goes rachamim, and the Nochas Reifa veret men reich. So therefore, since the world experienced now a thing that looks like din, and especially Klal Yisrael and Yidden, and so we should be zoicha that we should see already this rachamim rachamecha rabim racham aleinu. That the Alter Rebbe says we don't even know what kind of rachmanis to have. The Eibusher knows. So the Eibusher will have a rachmanis in us, aris nema from the Golus, the Vias Mashiach Tzidkenu, take it from Yad Mamish.
Amen.
L'chaim, l'chaim. The Eibusher shall help from that Yehoyre Neinu B'Seresecha v'Dabek Libeinu Mitzvasecha v'Yachid Lo V'Veinu La'avel Yirish Mecha, that every one of us that attack our minds should open up finally, and our hearts should open up. Soll sich davening Geschmack and sich lernen Geschmack.
We should have in tonight.
Yeah. Let's be Messiah with one niggin. Ah, yes. Ich trinken, trinkt sich, was soll man tun, als es davent sich nicht. Ah, yes. Ich trinken, trinkt sich, was soll man tun, als es lernt sich nicht. Essen, ich trinken, trinkt sich, was soll man tun, as es davent sich nicht. Oh, yes, ich trinken, trinkt sich, was soll man tun, as es davent sich nicht. Ja, 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 ay la la ay 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 you know. So those that don't understand Yiddish, it's not that hard to get ourselves to eat and to sleep. But why is it so hard when we want to learn a shtickle Gemara and we want to learn a Maimach Siddur and we want to daven? So the Eibusher should help that connecting in Mitzvah Shem to this special day, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the Taka, that should turn around, the song should turn around, Soll sich daven and soll sich lernen, and mit Geschmack Taka, and the S should take the back seat in our life. L'chaim, l'chaim.
Rabbi, Rabbi, can sagen etwas?
Sure, sag.
Yeah, erstens bin ich dem Nigen. I think it's on Rehov Yerushalayim in Tzfas. There's a restaurant there that has a taka on the wall. When you come in, it says S&S, the
whole
song.
Thing? They're trying to chase away customers?
No, that's, I guess, while you have to wait for the food, you can look at the song on the wall.
Oh, put in perspective, the food is not so important.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just reading before that it's in the Mishpacha magazine.
Yeah.
About there was a shul, now it's a churban in Miron, and there's an ark there.
Right.
And there's stories in the Talmud about that I forget who it was that asking when is Mashiach gonna come, and they said when this arch, there was a whole different mandeamas of what it's supposed to, what it meant when Mashiach said when it's going to fall. Some people thought it was the stock market. Some people thought it was the Roman government, and some people said that it's the ark from this shul. The shul was designed that the entrance faced Yerushalayim. So when everybody was davening, they would face the entrance. So if anybody came late into shul, everybody would see. That's the same way like Beis Menachem Mendel. It's facing Mizrach, and everybody comes and sees. Nevertheless, so what happened is there's constant earthquakes over there, and apparently the Antiquities Authority in the 1960s reinforced this ark because they wanted to, I don't know, whatever it was, rumors came about that because they were, I don't know if Pushtakim or they were Chilonim or whatever, they didn't want Mashiach to come because they wanted to elongate whatever it was that they were doing. So that's why they reinforced it so that they wouldn't want Mashiach to come. I don't know if it's true, if it's not, but it's not negated to the Indian of if Mashiach, if it's going to break down, if that's going to be one of the simonim. So many people come up with different simonim of what's going to happen. But I'm a pharmacist. I'm not an archaeologist. I'm not somebody who can know about things. But in my minuscule understanding, they say that there's a plate that the earth is constantly moving, and if you look to see where Moshe Rabbeinu was buried, he was buried Mul Yericho, this har, but it moved because of hundreds and thousands of years of this the epiphyseal plate moving. So it basically Eretz Yisrael is moving, I guess, upward, and the other side of the Jordan is moving downward. It means at some point in time, Saudi Arabia, where Saudi Arabia is today, used to be across from Eretz Yisrael, or maybe it's the opposite way. It depends. I don't remember which way it's going. But in today's technology, if people are so concerned about how they're going to go ahead and see when Mashiach is going to come, they can always go ahead. There's technology today available to see if they say that Moshe his body didn't decay. So they already can have technology that they can see if there's some kind of an organism below that still exists. So somebody can actually see which mountain it was, if they do a calculation of how many inches the earth moves a year times how many years that from the time when Moshe was nifta, they can figure out the exact spot where Moshe.
I hear a new invention brewing with a new patent.
No, it's
Benzi, remind me when Israel find out the camera to see on the ground where is the tunnels. So I asked the Rov, could we use this camera in Yerushalayim to find out with the Shlomo HaMelech hide the menorah?
Yeah.
The conclusion was we are Tome now, we don't want to touch it. We're not ready for it, yeah. But the nigun that we sing before in Matov Umanoi Es Netzach has to do with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, because it's a famous mimer that says that when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai came, they asked him we need food, we need rain. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said the Dvar Teireh and the rain start coming. So it was actually the question was for food, the rain. They want Pusha to have wheat to do food. Right?
Okay.
There's the famous mimer about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai that the oil would need rain. When you said rain, that means you need food.
He said the Torah, and he said the Torah.
Right. So it meant Kemach and Teireh. You need
exactly. It's true. Yeah.
So
okay, good Nacht. Yeah. What'd you say?
I say, I didn't know that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai knew Yiddish.
How do you know? Yeah.
No, I said, I didn't know that.
I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know. He probably spoke more Arabic than Yiddish.
How he wrote the Zohar in Arabic?
The Zohar is Arabic.
Oh, yeah. That's not Arabic.
No, Aramaic. But there's still Arabs that speak Aramaic, aren't there?
I heard there is, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I met once two Arabs that I asked them to translate Brich Shmed Marol Kisrach. They knew pretty good. They said that they speak Aramaic.
Interesting.
Good. A gute Nacht. The Eibusher shall help that we should have a matzloche dike lag Bomer, and the Eibusher should open up our hearts and our minds. We should have the Gula Mitzvah Shlema Yedei Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Amen.
Yeah, and Peretz David should have a full shleima. I give a simcha teitzeyo v'shalom tovalon he'orim v'yagvos yivtzchov nechem rino v'chol atzei asodayim chauchov give a simcha teitzeyo v'shalom tovalon he'orim v'yagvos yivtzchov nechem rino hakoisei lochem brocha ad v'li yedai ad bli dai ad bli dai ad bli yedai 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 ad sheyivlo seif seichem mi loimer dai 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 ad sheyivlo seif seichem mi loimer dai dai dai. Gute Nacht. L'chaim, l'chaim.